Hey, Sam Francis. I'm sorry. I didn't realize what time it was. Hello, hello, hello. I will give y'all time to come on in. Hello, hello, hello. I will give y'all to come on in. I know I'm running late. I would give y'all time to come on in. Hey, I'm not nice. Try me. How you doing, love? How y'all doing? Oh, I ain't even got this thing on, but I'm sure y'all probably could hear me. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Come on in. Sandra, beautiful, how you doing? Miss Independent, beautiful, how you doing? Come on in, come on in. I give y'all a little bit. I am doing great. I had lost track of time and then I happened to look down and say, oh shoot, look what time it is. So I had to go grab my phone because I was in there watching Netflix and I was like, duh. So I go grab my phone and come up here and because it's kind of cold outside. Normally I like to sit outside, but it's cold and I was in there watching Netflix. I was in the office, but I was watching Netflix and I was being lazy all at the same time. I was like, oh, let me hurry up and run my butt upstairs. But I had to run and grab my phone all at the same time. So I'm like, duh. So, okay. So, all right. Well, let me go and explain why I like to do the things that I like to do. Um, I was talking to one of the people that I admire the most, who is a very great inspiration to me. Um, that I have the utmost respect for, no matter what. You seem cut off at the neck. Oh, you know what? Let me see. Let me see. Let me help y'all out with that. Okay. Let me see. Can I help you out with that? I probably am cut off at the neck because I'm sitting on the seat, whereas is that better? Am I cut off now? Okay. All right. So now I'm stretched all the way out, knowing I'm not this tall. So uh the person that I admired the most, I mean the most, I admire them so much that I run and bounce a lot of ideas off of them. Um, they give me great ideas. They give me great advice. They give me great motivational speeches. They're like the person that I can call and I could talk to about life in general, about society, about everything, and I have the utmost respect for that person. And it's not only that person, it's like a couple of people, and two more people that I actually add to my little small circle that I really hold and admire near and dear to my heart. Um, the thing that I always try to speak on is affirmations, and I believe I had spoke on Sean's panel one time about that affirmations, a beautiful mess, and keeping the weeds in your garden cut very low. In my case, I like to try to keep that cut so low that I don't allow it or give it time to grow and stuff and everything. And life is a beautiful mess. Little do people know, life in general is a beautiful mess. And we all can be a beautiful mess at some day and some point in time. And long as you know you're a beautiful mess, no one could never come and tell you that you're not a beautiful mess. Um, and you have to be able to accept that. If you go through life thinking that you're not a beautiful mess, then something is clearly wrong with you. But one of the things that when I first came in the military, I wasn't a beautiful mess. I was a hot mess. And when you realize that you're a hot mess, somewhere along the way you have to understand that there's a difference between right, a beautiful disaster. Right. I was a beautiful disaster. And the reason I say I was a beautiful disaster because I was in a very bad, which I had talked about that on Logic panel one time, and I even said it on a straight drop panel one time. I came from an abusive relationship, and I left that. But also, when you're in an abusive relationship, you have to understand the things that you have to actually understand the things that when you live a particular type of lifestyle, when you're a part of a particular type of lifestyle, you have to accept the good, the bad, and the ugly that comes with that lifestyle as well. So I accepted that good, that bad, and that ugly with that lifestyle, but I also had to endure the abuse with that lifestyle as well. And for a long time, it took me a long time to accept that. It took me a long time to talk about that, and it took me a long time to want to be that, to allow anybody else to come or be comfort or um comfort anyone else and stuff. I actually wanted to live a actual single life, with my kids and stuff and everything. Um, at the end of the day, I came to terms with a lot of stuff, and coming in the military as a single parent wasn't easy. And I tell anybody that it was not easy, but along the way, um, after realizing that I had to separate from my kids when I first came in, that was hard because it was me and my children. And some things that inflicted over on my kids, that once I had came back, right, my guard was up, my heart was closed, and it stayed closed for a very long time. I mean, a very long time, until I allowed my heart to open. And once I allowed my heart to open, I became like this angry person. I became this irate person. I became this bitter person. And that's not something I wanted to do. So I had to change within me. But someone helped me change within me and stuff. And it wasn't my husband either. When I got my when I came in, I'm thinking, all right, I'm gonna finish basic training, I'm gonna finish my AIT, I'm gonna get my kids, and I'm gonna come back. Lo and behold, when I came in, some of the things. This is one of the things when you come in after you finish, the military. Hey, Cynthia, my soul sister, my beautiful soul sister, and uh your medical records, and I tell a lot of people, and I try to educate a lot of people on a lot of things, your medical records and stuff and everything. this was your this was your medical record, and I tell a lot of people, this was your medical record. This was blank piece of paper that the words is no longer identifiable. This was your eye exam. This was my medical record when I first came in. This paper right here, this was my medical record. That that was my medical record. And I tell a lot of people that, you know, this right here, this little piece of paper right here and stuff and everything. This was my uh my 93. This little form right here was my DD 93, where it anything happened to me, that form was what identified what go to what. This right here was digital at the time. You know, we had some papers that was digital at the time, and I'm showing it fast because it got some names on here, and I understand how YouTube want to clip, chip, and all that stuff, and take all that information off of there, and they want to show it. They want to put people information up and stuff. So I'm showing it really fast because I understand, you know, how nosy YouTube want to be, and I do have some identifiable names on here, and I don't want to make my family members victims because I wouldn't make anybody else family members victims as well. But the one thing I do want to, and I wish I could hide this. The one thing I do want to, maybe I could do it like that. The one thing I do want to point out is that number right there. If you all could see it, it says $450. That $450, they call it back then, hey Bella Mae beautiful, how you doing? That $450 back then, that was what they call my VHA. That's what I got, $450 VHA with dependents when I first came in. VHA. This other paper, which is my statement to sustainment. Okay, so I can't hide anything on here because I got names all next to that, breaking that down. But my statement of family separation allowance, to be separated from my family when I first came in and stuff and everything. After basic training at AIT, I got sent to Korea. And being separated from my family for 12 months, they only paid me, get this, $75. So we're going to take that $75 and $450 on top of my base pay, which was only $750 back then. So now I got federal, state, medical, this thing called FICA, and the 50 cents that they took out for the old folks home that we called it, right? And add all that up. That's what I was making. Yeah. Wasn't a lot of money. Wasn't getting child support either. Okay. But I was sending money home because my children wasn't allowed to go on, was not allowed to come with me back then. And some people sit there and say, well, that was your choice to come in. You're right. That was my choice to come in. Do I regret coming in? No. And they took all this paperwork, documents, but those documents are my enlistment contract. And they put that in this little book right here and sent me on my merry way. After Korea, I went and picked my kids up, and my duty station was Fort Hood. And the whole while I was there, I never got child support for my children. So because I came from a hardship duty station, I went immediately to the top of the and I had broke my nail earlier today. I'm so mad. I'm waiting for my husband to come home because we're going to get our he gonna take me up there so I could get my nails done and stuff. But I immediately went to the top of the housing list. But get this, the housing list is so funny because if you do a duty station to duty station stateside, you don't immediately go to the housing list. Only people of rank goes to the housing list and get first priority to housing. And by being that I wasn't of rank, I went immediately to the housing list because I came from a hardship duty station, which was overseas. So that immediately placed me above the colonels, the generals, the sergeant first classes, the first sergeants, the master sergeants, the sergeant majors, the staff sergeants, the sergeants, the specialists. That immediately put me above all them to get in housing. I still had to wait maybe about 6 months to get in, but that still put me above them. Now, had I came from another state side, I probably would have had to wait maybe a year or two before I had to get into housing because people of rank had priority. That's your generals, your colonels, lieutenant colonels, majors, lieutenants, second lieutenants, captains, first sergeant, sergeant majors, master sergeants, sergeant first classes. They all had precedence over the lower enlisted soldiers. That's kind of messed up. If you sit there and think about it, why would these people of rank have precedence over these lower soldiers? Wouldn't the lower soldiers have precedence? That was my way of thinking. But the saying is, rank has its privileges. It does. Rank does have its privileges. So my mindset was, oh, let me do what I have to do because I need to get rank. That was my mindset throughout my whole military career. I'm finna get ranked. I'm gonna do what I have to do. I'm gonna do it correctly. I'm gonna do it right because I want to get ranked. And it wasn't so much as to have privilege. It was to always help the next person because I seen what it was for me. So I always wanted to help the next person. And that was always my mindset. That was always my goal. But along the way, because I was never getting child support, and we had the rotation to Kosovo, we had the rotation to Iraq back then, we had the rotation to Africa, and those were 6 months rotations. So I had to put my kids in daycare. And because we had 6 month rotation, I had to do a long term and a short term family care package. And that means I had to pull them out of daycare. I had to send them to my either long term or short term provider, which means I would have had to send them back home or something like that. Then I would have had to bring them back. They had to readjust. So I went with the second option of putting them in a family care provider home, which was the second alternative. My family care home was actually right on the corner from me, and I got to know her. She was a home care provider that was contracted through DOD, which is Department of Defense, on post, and she stayed around the corner from me. By then, I had got in government housing, and I got to know her. She got to know my kids. So when I get up in the morning, I walk around the corner, drop the kids off, and my children was in school by then. She would drop the kids off to school. I go to PT. I get off of work. She picked the kids up from school. I get off of work. I go pick the kids up, and then me and the kids go off and do whatever we have to do. Along the way, we built a bond with this lady, and the lady was, during my whole time I was with her at station at Fort Hood, my children was with her too. She was the kids' home care provider, and built a bond with her. And she was so nice. When I say she was nice, I've never in my entire life had anyone that was that. Hey, Tony, love, big little brother. I've never had anyone that nice, like that coming in my first time. Oh, that's what's up. I never had anyone in my life that was like that far as in the military, because I was still new in the military, so I was still adjusting to the military. But she did. She was really nice. And she sat there when I first had went to did my first 6 months rotation, and the kids had to go to the extended before and extended after. So the extended before and extended after costs more. Now, I wasn't getting child support. And after the first couple of times of trying to have the kids dad serve, I said, you know what? I'm not going to go through this. I'm not going to go through no headaches with this. So I said, nope, not going to do it. No, it's not even worth it. So everything was on me. This lady, when I say it wasn't nothing but God, it was nothing but God. This lady, every time I sat and I went to pay my child care, the child care fee, this lady would take the money that I paid for the before and the after, and she would give it right back to me. And I say, huh? And she say, this for you. And I say, but this is the kids, this is the before and the after with the regular pay that I'm supposed to. She said, I know that, but I'm giving it back. And I say, but why? And she say, And later on, I'll explain to you. But right now, it's not the time to explain to you. And she had me confused. And she kept doing this. But I never spent the money. I always took the money and put it in the envelope. In the event something may happen. And after about maybe 3 months of her doing that, she had came to me and she said, "What are you doing Sunday?" And I was like, nothing that I could think of. And she said, "Come go to church with me." So me and the kids went to church with her. And I actually went to church. And when I went to church, you know how they sit there and they ask you, if we have any visitors, please stand up. So I went to introduce myself. And I remember this vividly. When the pastor sat there and he stopped and he said, "Do you know who you are?" And I said, "Yeah." And I went to introduce myself and he said, "Stop. Do you know who you are?" And I say, "Yes." And he said, "You have no idea who you are." And I say, "Yeah, I do." And I said my name again. But see, that wasn't the first time I heard that. Because I heard that a long time ago when I was younger, going to Madison Heights Church of God in Christ. Some things happen for a reason. But this lady took to me. And she used to go out and she used to do things. And she family in with her family. Christmas, she would buy the kids Christmas stuff. And although I could do things on my own, she buy the kids Christmas stuff. She would do a lot of things. So the time came for me to PCS to go to another duty station. And she told me, she said, "Never forget the people that help you. Always remember who helped you." "Hey, Joanna, beautiful, how you doing?" She said, "Never forget the people that help you." "Hey, Miss Douglas, beautiful, how you doing?" Never forget the people that help you. And I say, "Yes, ma'am." And that has been stuck with me for a long time. But I'm going to show you something. See, what I do from the heart. And I want to get something without showing names. Well, you can't read the name on this one. Yeah, you can't read the name on this one. But more specifically, I want you to see the date. This is how long I have been helping and serving the community in everything that I have done. I've been a part of the community. More specifically, I want you to look at the date. Can y'all see that date? Do I got that date covered? Can y'all see that date? That date say December 1999. Is that clear for you? Okay, let me get another one. I think this one is clear. Can you see that date? 1999. Can y'all see that? December. You can't see it. Is it blurry? Oh, you can see it, Joanna? Okay. So that's how long I've been a part of helping out in the community. It's not something I started. This is something I've been doing. That is something that is near and dear to my heart. I do it because I love to do it. I don't just help in the community. I get to know everyone. I don't want people to think that I do this for attention, as a competition, as looking for something, as anything, because regardless of who does what, you say, Miss Classy, I got this going. Miss Classy, I got that going. I'm trying to do this. I'll be there to support you 100%. Cause at the end of the day, until you have walked those 20 something years in my boots and seen the things that I've seen and done the things that I've done, you would never begin to understand why I do what I do. You would never begin until you have pulled a soldier off the ledge of a building from committing suicide. You would never begin to understand why I do do the things that I do. You would never begin to understand why helping out is a passion for me. This is not something I do because I want to do it. This is a passion. This is my heart. This is not something that I just all of a sudden wake up and say, oh, let me brainstorm and see how many people I can get to do it. This is my heart. This is the heart of my organization. This is the heart of my sisters and my brothers, that we bonded. And we go out and we know these people. We go to these schools and we know these children. We know the families. I'm never going to violate a family. Not ever. I will let you know what I'm doing, but I would never violate a family. Because I wouldn't want nobody to violate me. Exactly, Tony. We have the pantry house. The pantry house, we have Food Lion. We have, as my husband called it, the rich people store. We have Walmart, who give us all kind of food once a month. And we go up there and we feed them. We cook and we feed them. But I never go live on that. Want me to tell you why? Because I would never share in on those guys' happiness. To see them come in. Some will even make you cry. Hey, Daryl Caesar. How you doing? Some will make you cry to sit there and watch them as they enjoy a hot meal. Yeah. We had this guy sing Amazing Grace. hmm My big brother, TG79. You know how bad I wanted to click live and let y'all share in on that, but I couldn't. because I was being selfish. I really was. I was being selfish. That guy touched me. He did. But I never violate anybody. I know. I never violate anybody. No, I won't. I won't do it. I can't do it because I know how I feel if I'm violated. We don't just go out and give. We get to know them. We stay in constant contact with them. We do out throughout the year. We invite them out. Right. Some of them don't want to be seen. And believe it or not, some of the places that we go to, I wouldn't even put it up like that because it's already disheartening going out there as it is. My thumbtack has me sitting on my motorcycle outside of my other property. And that other property is located somewhere else. And this other individual, she know where it's located at because me and her gonna hook up together. And I had talked to her and we're gonna hook up together and she know exactly where that's at. Um, but just a little hint on FYI. Uh, Eastward Elementary back in 2005. I did I met up with someone. She had double mastectomy cancer and she recovered from double mastectomy cancer. And her project is uh um helping out the dangerous class. And I talked about the dangerous class before. The dangerous class, and they're not a dangerous class, but the dangerous class is what the law called us, what the criminal justice system called us. And that is the African American community, the minority community, the um, Native American community. And we do have white people in that community that falls in that class, unfortunately. But uh what I say, Westward Eastward community, Eastward school, and she found this school, and this is the most poorest school in this county. And when I say poor, it is entirely poor. That funding goes out to all the other schools before it even get to this school. And every year, there is the community. And when I say she ignited the community, she ignited the motorcycle clubs, she ignited the organization, she ignited the VFW, she ignited everybody to come together every year where they go down to the Elk Club in Temple and they bring things like clothing, toys, food, um, old furniture that they trying to get rid of. Showtime, my big brother, how you doing? They bring any and everything, coats, blankets. They do everything. When I say everything, and this goes on every year, and they have not deviated from it since 2005 when I met her, and it was going on then, and they have not deviated since. And from there, it is loaded up on 18-wheeler trailers and they escort it back down to the school where the families come. And the families come and the stuff is taken off of there and they go through and they get what they want. But let me tell you about this school. This is immaculate school, but it's the poorest school in this county. Because this school not only is set up to teach these kids, but this school is the school of all schools. Hey, lovely, the great, beautiful, how you doing? But this school is the school of all schools. And why I say this school is the school of all schools, because this school is set up that when the lights is out because they can't afford to pay their light bill, they could come and sleep. They could come and cook. They could come and wash their clothes. When they ain't got no jackets, they could come and get a coat from there. They could come and get shoes from there. That's what's immaculate about that school. And guess what? I'm glad to say I've been helping that school out since I've been knowing her, 2005. And anybody that ever lived in this county know about that. Anybody lived in that area know about the toy drives that have ever taken place. Anybody know about Eastward? I think it's Eastward Elementary. Everybody know about that. Everybody. And everybody know who the organizer is of that school that puts that together. That's my near and dear heart. Those are the things I love to do. So when I hear people doing things in the community and putting together and they say they're giving back, oh yeah, Miss Classic gonna jump on that. Even if it's just giving a donation. Miss Classic gonna jump on it. I'm not in competition with nobody. And I would truly think nobody's in competition with me. For what? We all should be working together and not separately. There's no reason to think that